And the boys are here. The boys are here and live. We're chilling. Yo, you like this fucking sax music I got for you, bro? For you, Poppy?
It's good, ladies and gents. How we doing?
I heard this bop like 2 seconds ago, and I was like, "Oh, bro, this is for my boy." Something else I wanted to do before I went live, but I forgot to do it. I'm gonna see now if I can fix that. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do that. That's just gonna fuck everything up, I think.
What's going on, Clouter?
This is it, Feds. Hold on, man. I'm half geeking it right now.
We're geeking.
We're geeking. Oh, alright. Nah, I'm elite. Alright, that can stay down there. Yeah, yo. Alright, I'll turn off the music now. We'll get vibing here. What's happening, boys? What's happening? What's happening, Fetty?
What's good, my goat? How we doing, bro?
I'm doing fucking
What is the
excellent,
word?
man. Fucking excellent, man. You know, just big
Feel
chilling,
good.
man. I'm all comfortable now. I'm all like all set, moved in, got all that bullshit out of the way. Now I'm just chilling, man.
You can yell and scream and run around butt naked now. That's what I like to see.
Oh man, I love it, man. I'm enjoying it. How about you, Poppy?
How was your weekend? I'm good, man. My weekend, very, very chill. Very chill. Relaxed. Big time. Just absolute vibing. Ate a lot of junk food, but that's totally fine. That's what I'm eating on some Burger King right now, so
God
you
damn.
know, just been indulging, you know. But other than that, yeah, I can't complain, man. Just excited.
I didn't do much this weekend either. I kind of just sit back and chill.
Couple matches since we last spoke. That was really fun to watch.
Yep.
Got a little casting action in there.
Man, you were casting a lot this week, though. We had the primetime night, which I guess we can highlight Bermuda and absolute rain a little bit. We'll talk about that matchup. And yeah, you had a double header in Toronto. Man, what else? Did you cast anything Friday?
Yeah, I did actually. I think I did.
You casted Detroit OVO.
Yeah, Detroit OVO. Yeah.
Yeah, you.
No, there was two games.
Oh,
we did two games. We did the East Coast Texas game and the Detroit OVO. Both 3-0s. That was insane. That was a Fetty Cod. What's up, Andy? What's up, guys? Yeah, that was those were some interesting matchups. I gotta say. I would say just to start off with all the games I watch, I would say this Detroit looks very, very, very interesting.
Detroit does look.
They look really good, and I gotta say, East Coast as well. They look very strong. They look very surgical. I think there are two teams we gotta be definitely worried about going into this division play for sure.
One undefeated team remaining in Miami. I don't know if you just said that.
Yep, yeah. And then Miami. Look, I actually have not seen any Miami play. I knew they played. I think last night or the night before or something like that.
Night, yeah.
So they do look. They look. I know they look really strong. But and then of course Toronto, blessing me with the doubleheader, like you said, that was really fun to watch. That was really cool.
11s. Holy.
Yeah, I mean, just biting on the edge of my seat, just straight. I just can't believe it.
As much as I didn't perform to my abilities, they were still fun to play. But regardless, though, what else? What else am I gonna say then? I guess with the recent point changes happening overnight, there's been a lot of roster moves. Like me and you were talking about that before we unmuted and went live. We have Ruma going to Miami, which we can touch base on a little bit later. We have Danky Cheese leaving Plattsburgh, coming to Toronto, and I guess a 1-for-1 trade for a reason, going back the other way to Plattsburgh. We had Quick Tuna also. Tuna's also in Plattsburgh now. And there was another big one too, wasn't there?
Yeah.
You mentioned one more. Oh, Gelato to New York.
Gelato to New York, yeah.
To the super team.
Yeah, that was the most interesting thing. I think that's the biggest, unfortunately, disappointment right now for out of all the games I've seen. I've said, I've said New York on paper looks like a super team, but they're looking more like the Brooklyn Nets with James Harden and Kyrie Irving and KD as of right now. That is an honest statement in the last two games. The 2 games good in games where you should win based on the talent that is in written form. They just look very disorganized. Not sure if they're in sync or in balance right now. They are 2-2, but they again, games they should have won.
A rough week for them.
They are, yeah, they are looking like the Brooklyn Nets, the super team Brooklyn Nets that we saw. The kind of hopefully they can get it together.
I think Palsy just
And
went up
then
to a 1 as well, so now
yeah, Paul's yeah. So
you can't
that
utilize Palsy anymore. So that's
yeah,
nothing against Striker or anything, but I feel like Palsy was definitely the shout there in my opinion for that roster. Uh, and moving forward, but him jumping up to a 1, obviously now there's some point changes to be made and looping around in that New York roster. Still on paper, like you said, in my opinion, it's still a super team. I mean, you have Eraz, Bear,
yeah,
Splashy down the middle, and having Gelato on the sidelines to step in for Splashy now. When Splashy can't make it, you can't ignore the fact that him and Splashy are kind of together on pace, for two big superstar players in New York. And I feel like they can plug and play with those two players, and I don't think there's any change. You know what I mean? It doesn't make the
right,
team any more significant or downgrades the team whoever plays between those two.
right, right, yeah.
But definitely a rough week for sure. They had who'd they play this week? They played
They went West Coast game was a 3-0. That was impressive work out of West Coast. And then they
Phoenix.
played.
They had 3-0'd by Phoenix.
Yeah, those are the two games that I felt like, they should have won those. I just don't know what happened.
I also believe they should have won
You
those.
know,
I think
it's just they got to get it together. I think they gotta. I feel they should scrim a little bit more. I don't know
Yep.
if they are scrimming, but they should probably get into the lab a little bit and see how it goes. With Bear T and E. And the striker as well. They got to start practicing, figuring it out. But that was the most, I gotta say, letdown of the week, unfortunately.
100%. I think those guys going 0-2 is definitely something to isn't ideal, especially with the matchups they had. Phoenix is all Phoenix, and nothing against Phoenix and West Coast. They had good. I mean, that's the only West Coast win they've had this major. So their one win is against this New York roster, 3-0. And they look strong, man. They look strong in the hard point. They look strong in the S&D. I kind of remember the matchup now. I did watch that one. West Coast looked very strong against this New York roster. I unfortunately didn't get the chance to watch the Phoenix series, but it seems like Act came up big there in that Phoenix series against New York.
It's so crazy that Phoenix got smoked by Toronto, and then I didn't know they were playing a second game after that.
And they followed it up with a 3-0 against New York. Yeah, I know.
I don't know what it was. I mean,
Again,
I still think I don't know, man. It's so crazy.
The players on that roster, I'm not worried. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not worried about the players that are on that roster. I feel like New York is going to get it together. I will look at this week's matchups in a second. I just did them up, but I think New York plays Toronto this week for sure. Definitely a matchup to look out for, and they also play Absolute Rain again this week. Another team that has a very poor start, but there's a lot of promise with that team. We talked about it on Wednesday. Let's just jump to that. We'll jump right to Absolute Rain and their match Wednesday against Bermuda. On our primetime night, it was 3-0 Bermuda, an absolute banger of a series from start to finish.
Ruler. I mean, like I said, that's the final form roster I would believe Absolute Rain has, unless they retool it somehow. But dude, Bermuda looks so damn good. Shout out to fucking Ruler, man. AC9, this dude came out shooting off the rip. That shit was insane. Yeah. And again, people in chat were like, when you and I were casting, were like, how are they winning? Like, how is Bermuda winning? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. And again, C-Fan with almost 3 minutes on time.
They were completely outslayed map 1.
So it's crazy. It was crazy. Absolute, definitely
outslayed map 1. I'm gonna get
another team. Yeah, I think Absolute Rain is another team that, again, looks interesting and really enticing on paper, but it's just, again, just a little disorganized in a way. It doesn't seem like they're on par with their teammates sometimes. I don't know exactly what it is, but that was a tough watch for Absolute Rain. For a team I think has got a big stock boost since the last major, and their roster now, again, just not executing like I would think. So, I mean,
yeah, no, 100%.
I don't know.
With me for a second. I'm fucking around, moving tabs around here. I'm getting right.
No, you're good, man. Do your thing, baby.
But yeah, no, that map 1 was definitely insane. with Absolute Rain definitely outslaying Bermuda that map 1, and then map 2 was just as crazy. I mean, I think AR was up 4-1, I'm pretty sure. It was something like that, and then Bermuda started the big comeback,
Oh
uh,
my god.
which was also
What
crazy.
a
And then
choke
that
miss.
Overload, bro, that Overload was fucking insane. That map
Yeah.
3, and we even got a reset off of it, and the reset was just also fucking crazy. The reset was just
Dude,
as good, also ending
insane.
4-3. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm
Bermuda
not.
keeps playing like that. Whew.
Yeah, I agree.
If they keep playing like that, oh my god, it's gonna be trouble for a lot of teams out there against Bermuda.
And I mean, AR is definitely, having a rough start with a 1-1-3 start, but I have no worries about these guys. I think they can bounce back from this. Uh, Being 1-3. I mean, 4-10 map
Yeah,
count is not ideal what you want right now, but like you said with Noah and Rev there, I think these boys can get it together with Stubby and who is their fourth? Who am I missing? I'm missing one.
it's W
Uh,
Noah. Who is it
Rev,
fourth? That's a good question.
Rev, and oh man, I feel bad because I definitely know who it is.
Let
But yeah, and
me
then
look
I
it up.
guess yeah, and with AR, their upcoming match this week, they played New York this week on top of I believe.
Oh, CFin. Oh no, that's CFin.
Oh, it is
I'm sorry,
CFin.
Jude. Jude for Absolute Rain.
Oh, Jude, yeah.
Jude's W. Yeah.
Yeah, so AR's matches this week,
Mm-hmm.
they play New York and then West Coast on top of that. So West Coast and Absolute Range should be a good match. I mean, both those teams definitely need a win this week. So, one of those guys will definitely get a win over the other one just to make some progress in their pool right now because obviously they're both 1-3. AR's with a 4-10 map count, West Coast with a 5-9 map count. Just edging over Absolute Rain for the time being. But yeah, West Coast with some big matchups this week again against Plattsburgh. The newly reformed Plattsburgh, I guess, when 3Z finds out what he's doing for a roster. I'm assuming it's going to revolve around Tuna, Seti, Reason, and another one-pointer. I think. I think that matches up because Seti's a 6, and then Tuna's a 5, Reason's 1. So yeah, they need another one. Uh, for that Plattsburgh spot. But the West Coast roster with Chapo, I feel like these boys can get a few dubs, and I think me and you have talked about it the last couple weeks. This West Coast squad ever since coming up to the big leagues, I guess, we haven't seen that D League performance from them yet. And I don't know if that's just CXP jitters, but coming in here on the main stage, but I really hope to see this team bounce back. There's so much praise from them coming up from D League and in pool play, and they didn't show up for the major. And right now with a 1-3, they really got to make some moves here and get back into it. Yo, what's up, Dizzle? They shelled
This
out
is
big
also
cash
on.
for Palsy last night. Oh, they did. Palsy would be elite on that Plattsburgh roster. What's up, Potato? If Palsy goes to Plattsburgh, that would be huge in my opinion. I mean, you have Palsy, Reason, Tuna, and Seti. That's a pretty solid roster.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was Splash who had mentioned like that the last episode in the chat that the Tuna Seti duo would be insane. I mean, listen, that near reverse sweep was pretty impressive. I mean, I can't believe it. That was such a good series on the on the second half. I mean, that was insane. For
Yeah.
Toronto Plattsburgh. I mean those guys. I think they can make some noise. I think they'll make the bracket for sure. That's not a. I don't think
What,
they have any
Plattsburgh?
question about not making. Yeah, yeah. I think they'll
Yeah,
make the
I
bracket.
think the Seti Tuna duo
Um,
is going to be a very strong duo. And I mean the Seti Acheon duo they had there this previous week. I mean the Plattsburgh's a good team. Over on that Div B side, which we'll get to in a moment. Once we clue up over here on Div A, I mean the Plattsburgh team is 2-2, but I mean all together, I mean they're definitely a strong team. And in 2-2, I think they just had some tough breaks in the last couple weeks, but I think Seti and Tuna can regain here and gain some momentum here now in the next couple weeks to come.
right, right, yeah, absolutely.
And then cluing up over on Div A, I'll let you take away for the Toronto talk. Um,
I think Toronto's in final form. I think Cope and Clouter duo is still relevant. I think these guys are going to be playing well. I think Dizzle they have a better. I think this is the best roster we've seen out of Toronto in any title or any major, in my opinion. I like the stronger AR presence out of these guys. They're going to continue winning these games. I think they could come out of this bracket. I'd like to see the Toronto New York game to see how that goes down. But I think a lot of people don't understand that. I feel like a lot of people in this league, like Cope, is their kryptonite. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Cope has been playing really well lately in this title, and people sometimes are afraid to challenge him. I think that he has ran it down so many times on people, and he is that double header proved my point. Like he literally was out there shooting everybody. For anybody that says that he wasn't challenging, he was challenging. It's literally on the VOD. Uh, the C Cup duo, yeah. I mean that he has he literally challenged Toronto. Those guys again. If Clouter can stay consistent,
We are terrorists on the map though. Like we are so aggro on the map, and it bites us in the ass. It definitely bit us in the ass against Plattsburgh
so
for sure.
um,
But
I think people I've literally heard people say it myself in the VC. So like I said, insider sources. But like I said, I think Toronto's going to be interesting. I think they come out of this pool though, but they've showed tenacity in this division so far.
and with
So
the addition of Danky Cheese as well, we had the
oh
acquisition of
yeah,
Danky
Jakey.
Cheese. Yeah. We had the acquisition of Danky Cheese overnight, so hopefully that improves a little bit to the roster. Um, And as in return of S&D Dizzle, the Toronto roster is actually 4-1 in the S&Ds, and all four wins come in round 11. So I think the only thing I can say about Toronto is that these guys that we ice up in round 11, and we have the most
Yeah.
round 11 search wins so far this major with 4
Yep.
with all of our wins, and
Yeah, numbers don't lie, guys. I mean, literally. I mean, that's what I'm saying. They got it. They got the stats to prove it that these guys can come up clutch.
yeah,
Yeah, Dizzo in Toronto. Yeah.
this is on Toronto. Yeah, the Toronto roster is myself, Cope, Dizzle, and Danky Cheese now. But yeah, no. Moving over to Div B. Div B is looking a little bit more tighter over here on the Div B side. We have Las Vegas are leading the Ray with 3-1. They had 2 big wins this week, which we don't have the stats for. I'm pretty sure they lost. They lost their stat line. I'm pretty sure. I think I've read that in admin chat, right? So we don't have the stats on their matches. I think they won both. I think it was a 3-0 and a 3-1. I could be wrong. They played West Coast and Absolute Rain. I think pretty sure it was a 3-1 3-0 win for the side of Vegas. What's your thoughts on the Vegas squad there, Feds?
Well, I'm assuming. I have a question about Vegas. Is this record? Is Tuna playing? Like, did he play these 4 games for Las Vegas?
I think so. Yeah, he had to finish out before he went FA. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think this is a fake 3-1. Unfortunately, I think the only reason why they haven't gotten to this position and why they have some ridiculous numbers is because of Tuna. I think when Tuna leaves and departs from Las Vegas to go to PP, I think. I mean, mind you, in the same division, by the way, which should be very interesting. I just don't know who they could fill, and I don't know if they have people to fill in already. Um, I just think this is again a fake 3-1. I think Las Vegas starts to struggle here. I don't think they have like a player, a caliber player like Tuna again when he leaves to kind of keep up this momentum. 10-6 in map count. I mean, they are leading this division, tied up in the bottom 3. But I like I said, without Tuna, I don't really think they have anything there. That's just my case on Las Vegas.
Yeah, this team is definitely raising question marks, but I mean, obviously 3-1, so it's gonna be interesting to see how this team continues to play on without Tuna. I think Tuna's a very huge loss to this squad,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna be very interesting to see going forward how these guys come up. I honestly believe I don't think they stay up in this first spot. I think the way Bermuda and Plattsburgh have been playing, I think these guys are gonna bounce back and get some dubs. and work their way back up to the top of the ladder here. But
yeah, I like Bermuda. I like Bermuda and Plattsburgh too. Phoenix, I don't know. It's so weird. Again, a lot of question marks for Phoenix. When I watched that Toronto game, they look so just again disorganized, and then playing a New York team kind of just was night and day for them. I don't know. Again, the inconsistencies is there for the Phoenix Skyliners. I'm hoping Act could improve and fix things together, but man, if Act and Offside don't figure it out together, it's going to be a lot of issues. So I'm hoping. I think they just signed Farmy, I believe. So.
Oh, that's a huge pickup. No, isn't Farmy in Paris? Isn't Farmy still in Paris, or did he leave Paris?
I think he left Paris. I think he's a Phoenix though. Yeah.
So a lot of roster moves going around today. I know we're not gonna know who's playing. Where.
But I'll tell you, if Bermuda play like they did on Wednesday, they will possibly be the strongest in this division, hands down. I think Ruler's having a year. I think this is a breakout season, and they just got to show consistency. Again, Dylan and C-Fan struggled in that map 1, and then able to still beat them by a margin. And Dylan popped off on the map 2 on the S2E3. So, like I said, I think Bermuda and Plattsburgh are the strongest 2 in this division, and then it's going to come down to Las Vegas, Phoenix at the end of the day.
Yeah,
as of right now.
Bermuda having a 1-1 week as well, having a 3-1 loss to Las Vegas. Not looking too good on that map, but like you said, if they play like they played on Wednesday when we watched them against Absolute Rain, these guys will definitely clue up some wins this week. I don't know who they play this week. I'm going to find out as I skip through all this bullshit. That's last major. They play Toronto and they also play Phoenix this week.
Oh wow.
So they play another. So yeah, Toronto has 2 big matches this week in New York and
a lot of good head-to-heads here. I mean, I gotta watch that Bermuda Phoenix game.
And Bermuda Phoenix should be interesting as well. We have Plattsburgh versus Las Vegas. That should be an interesting series. A lot of interesting series going on this left side. And I mean, looking over on the right side, there's a lot of big matchups on the right-hand side too when we get down to Div C and Div D. And we'll talk about those guys in a bit. But there's a lot of big matches over on that side as well. We have OVO in Miami. We have Detroit and New Jersey. Man, New Jersey though. Have they played all map 5s?
I believe so.
I'm pretty sure New Jersey's went map 5 every series they played. Whether it's win or lose, they're 2-2, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they went 5 every series they played this major. So that's crazy. There's crazy series going on over there in New Jersey. They've probably played the most maps out of mostly everybody in the major so far this season, which is kind of fucking unreal if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we. Did we cast a New Jersey match? I don't know. I don't know if we casted one, but
I don't think
we were watching one. I think we did cast one. Yeah, the Potato Zorbs duo. That shit looks good. I'm not gonna lie. That shit looks very dangerous, and I'm very excited. And like I said, I like since BO6 how Los has taken it upon himself to keep a similar tandem throughout the titles. And like I said, the consistency is there. But dude, I like that duo. That duo could be even as stronger as the Potato Los duo back in BO6. That shit, the Zorbs, the Johnny Tater, that shit is insane. I think that's a very strong duo people need to look out for. But then again, I think Johnny is gonna have to be that leader still, and I think he showed it. But they're coming close. I mean, multi-map 5, 4 straight map 5s. It's impressive. It's impressive. They started struggling in the first 2 games, and then they picked it back up. I wouldn't be surprised if they start to extend their regular season into a positive trajectory. I really believe that they are going to start winning more games, and we might see them go map 5 every series. Who knows? I mean, these guys. I think they're going to blow out a couple teams, but
the map 5s, man.
They are right there with everybody. I think They'll definitely be in the bracket. They just have to keep playing like they're doing, and then Johnny and Tato just take over the game. That Scar was nuts. I mean, one time you got Tato clearing the hill on 3 streak, and then you have Zorps coming in, taking over map control. So these guys look really good. It's very fun to watch these guys play. And shout out Potato because it's good to see him come back and play. Watching him play that match when we casted, that was fun as hell. So should be really cool to see these guys progress through the series through the regular season. 100%.
Absolutely, man. And New Jersey's looking good so far. I mean, in their hard point, I should have done this for the other ones, so I kind of forgot, but I'll touch back on those teams later. But so far during Major 2, New Jersey's 4-2 in the hard points with a 1.06 KD. The boys are pumping. And another fun fact about this New Jersey team, with all the map 5s they've played, only that might not be right. I might have fucked that up somewhere. But looking at it, because it says they're 1-5 in S&D, I might have mixed that up somewhere, so I have to check that out. But yeah, their S&D in this New Jersey team hasn't been as strong as it was last major. Not at all. They've fallen down. I mean, they have a .77 KD in S&D right now, minus 15 in round differential. I mean, the boys in New Jersey just can't get a lock on the S&D, but seem to be able to ice up two map 5 wins. So they should have more than one win in S&D. Oh wait, now I have to punch in their stats for this week. I missed one. So yeah, they definitely won the other one. So they should be 2-5. I forgot about that. I don't have their stats put in yet. I got to do that. And then obviously so far in the Overload, bearing the Paris series, they're 2-1 in Overload as well with a 1.04 KD right now, with 3 goals per game average. So
that series was nuts. Holy.
Yeah, they went another map 5 with Paris as well. So yeah, I haven't punched them stats in for New Jersey yet, so they're kind of missing. So ignore that. They're definitely 2-5 in the S&D.
I'm totally I'm so happy that we're not looking at an 0-4 jersey or 0-3 jersey. I'm so glad that they picked it up. I'm so happy again the green light with Potato coming back in. I think they need to have a statue with Potato in front of in their hometown. I'm telling you. They need to have the Mount Rushmore.
Well, even BT says Intel says Johnny might not play due to having a PC reset this map. Which if that's the case, I mean, you still have Los. You bring back the Los Potato duo, which I mean we've seen in BO6. We know what those boys are capable of doing when they're on the map together. So I don't think it's any. It's definitely. I think if Johnny does sit the bench, I think it's a huge loss for New Jersey. But having Los step right back into the mix, I'm always happy to see Los on the map as well. So. If he ends up coming back and teaming with Potato again, I'm all for it. It should be very interesting.
Yeah.
I still think this New Jersey team is up there.
Yeah, 100%. These guys are gonna stay on top. I see them competing very well in this regular season. Throughout the way, they're gonna make the bracket. I don't think it'd be a problem for them.
100%. And then obviously, jumping down, obviously in second place in Div C is OVO. Also with a 2-2 records, with their 6-7 map count. These boys, I think they're making progress. I think after the exit of Splashy, I think Kato has worked around here and got some type of roster together. They look okay. They obviously 3-0 Texas this week, and also played. They got 3-0 by Detroit on top of that. But I think these guys, going up against the higher tier teams is going to be a struggle for this OVO squad. But I think against the lower tier teams so far this major, I think OVO, you know what I mean? I feel like anyone that's above them right now probably has got the edge over them. But all the teams that are kind of below OVO, I guess, in a power rankings term, I feel like OVO can win. They're like that. They're right in the middle. I don't think they're top, and I don't think they're shit. I think they're just right in the middle right now, and I think that's just my opinion about this OVO squad right now.
I'm on the same page with you. I would just say this. I think they clean it up from here. Like I said, I think I don't know if I mentioned this, but I found out they had Casper. They needed to play Casper. I think someone has to take a back seat. I don't think Hybrid has played to his potential like we've seen back in BO6. And I think because they're both 2-point, I think you use Casper. I think they no offense to Hybrid, that's my homeboy, but I think if you sub in Casper, the main squad, he picks up your OBJ very well. I think he knows a little bit more I think he's a more sharper gunny than hybrid, and I think they could start working a little bit better together as the season goes. If they start using Casper to play as a 2-pointer rather than hybrid kind of take the back seat. That is just my opinion. I think they become a stronger team. I still have OVO like a top 6, top 5 team because of Juzen. I'm putting a lot of pressure on him. He will get my criticism right now. I think he needs to be the face of the franchise. He needs to step up. He needs to be the leader. I I see it. I saw it again. Obviously, we saw it, but they played Texas, like you said. They could be comparable to those mid tier teams, but when it comes to higher comp, they're going to struggle a little bit. I think they clean it up. I think Kato is starting to pick it up, but I also think if they play Casper and Juzen again needs to like, I don't know what it is in the comms. I think Juzen just needs to, whether it's drop his ego a little bit or he needs to start be integrated more successfully in those comms with the rest of the OVO squad. He has to mesh somewhere in that fine line because right now he has flashes where he is literally the main leader, and then there's flashes where he puts himself back a couple steps, and I don't know what it is. Again, as he has to fill a lot of shoes, a lot of gaps for Splashy. Again, leaving it and taking his talents to New York. But right now, I think I want Juzen to play well. It's weird because I still feel like he could still be comparable to Splashy, but it's just again it's not the same because it's not Splashy, right? So
Yeah.
that is the issue that I'm having here. But I still have him up there. I don't know why. It's because I think it's because I'm relying on Juzen so much to activate. Right, and
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for that moment for him to activate and catch the win.
Yeah.
So
But yeah,
that's all I
so
would say.
so
But
so far for this OVO squad though in Major 2 so far, I mean their respawns are right down the middle. Like they're as of right now, like their hard point, they're 3-2 overall in hard points with a 1.0 KD. Same thing down in Overload as well with a 2-2 record in Overload with a 1 KD, and actually here. So far this major, they're one of the higher teams for most goals per game with a 4.8 goals per game so far this major out of the 4 games they played so far. I don't know how many total touchdowns they've scored yet. I can grab that for you guys in a second. But I think where this real issue for this OVO team comes, if we're looking at towards the stat line, is coming down to this S&D again. And I think it's a common theme for this C division outside of Stanford. That all these teams are just negative in the S&D. Can't seem to figure it out in the S&D. OVO's 1-3 in S&D, having a .9 KD and a -7 round differential. I like you said though, Feds. I think you said it perfectly when it comes down to communication and leadership. I think that's what they're missing in the S&D. And if they can have that clear comms and knowing who's play column for S&D, I think these boys can definitely rally back. You know what I mean? I think they're right in the middle right now. They're not up there for me. If they're up there for you, that's cool. I don't think they're up there for me right now, and they're not towards the bottom either. They're like just perfectly pitch perfect right in the middle. I think this is your
right.
middle team right now. And obviously after week 2, you have about like 6 more weeks left to get those wins under your belt and prove that you're up, that you can play with the top teams. So I think that's just my placement for them right now. And then obviously we jumped down to Stanford, which I think has just been a huge question mark in the last 24 hours since Gelato announced he's leaving and going to New York. Colin also ended up going to Paris, and Perk is taking a break from the league from the time being. So the whole team kind of just disbanded in the last 24 hours. Another great team on paper, not the start they wanted to have though. Starting off 1-3 with a 4-11 map count. What's your thoughts on that? Because I think it's kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah, it just sucks, man. Like it's just another like stab in the heart a little bit. I mean, you couldn't get it as worse as what they did. I'm not gonna say they. I'm gonna say Stanford. It's not anybody's fault, really. I guess I'm not gonna get into it, but I think
last major
in retrospect, they again probably the strongest team, a top 3 team hands down, right? Maybe top 2. I think I even had them winning the chip. I mean, you know what I mean? But then now, boom, like they just kind of just disappeared.
They kicked off this major. I think we sat here and we're like, yo, this Stanford team, Gelato's cooking, and it's sad to see, man. I think on paper they had a really solid team there with Gelato. Colin, Perk, and Arab Money. I think that was a solid squad to have. Super unfortunate they had to take 2 forfeits on Sunday, obviously, because the whole team disbanded. I mean, they were only 1-1 after week one. But yeah, super unfortunate from them. Don't have much, obviously, on this Stanford team, except Arab Money got some work to do. Got some work to do in the next couple hours and try to get a roster together.
Yeah, he just signed 2 players. I think the BT Savashi. I know Savashi as well. I think I think if Arab is cooking. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Arab isn't a terrible owner.
Is Peanutty gone to Stanford?
Yeah, Stanford. So the rival and then the integration of Savashi should be interesting because he's a grinder himself. He plays well. He's a 6-pointer.
Yep.
Talented young player.
I like those 2 signings. I didn't know that.
So that's that. Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. It could be an interesting way. I mean, I would like to see a Stanford OVO matchup with those rosters. I would really like to see that. Yep. This should be really fun to watch. That's like prime time to me. I want to see. I'm happy. First of all, I'm happy to see Savashi in the league and playing. I'm finally signed to a team. I mean, and from BO6. I mean, these guys are ready to play. Hungry BT again.
I'm glad he got a call up.
Glad he got picked up. I mean, that's great.
BT deserves to be playing in the main league. Obviously he was down in the D League to get some playing, but I'm happy to see him back up in the main league. Though he's definitely a shooter, and he's definitely a good pickup for that Stanford squad.
Yeah, but like OVO and New Jersey are neck and neck. I think the beginning of this regular season, we're too. I know it's a little early, but I think the beginning of the season, like, OVO had the chance to kind of run away with it because Jersey dropped 2 straight in the beginning, right? And then again, like, I think OVO just underperformed, and then Texas is just, dude.
Are they
like
the new Minneapolis?
They're looking like it. I mean, they got a new roster now with OG Lee, Lonely Dog.
Okay. I'm gonna list this because I looked at this the other day and I was like, holy bro, they can't be this bad. But as for Texas right now, so far this major, they're 0-5 in hardpoint right now with a .8 KD. Down in the S&D, they're 1-4 with a .8 KD, and S&D with a -9 round differential. And then in Overload, they're 1-3 as well with another .8 KD, and they're only averaging 2.5 goals per game. The tied for the lowest with Miami right now, and obviously with a -9 plus minus. This Texas squad is definitely in shambles right now. And this is what I mentioned earlier. I mean, I think at the beginning of the season, I think that's what it was. It was like the appeal that they had to attract free agents, and then the abysmal start. It's not looking good for them. I think this is the first time they may not actually make the bracket. I'm not gonna lie. They have cleaned up their roster a little bit, but again, I don't think it's enough. I don't know. I mean, I think Lonely Dog has been shooting just a little bit, but again, with the scheduling, it's gonna be tough because he likes to play later in the night. And I don't know if Andy and Zila can play that late. We'll see how it goes. And then have a tough matchup again this week, too. I'm pretty sure they played Detroit and Stanford this week. So
that's tough.
Stanford, and then obviously the juggernaut over across the way with Kaori. Definitely, this Texas team is not looking good right now.
I will say this: they did bring Miami to 5 maps, but I don't think it makes a difference. You can't close games; you got to close it. But they're trying to extend maps, but they like that overload that Friday night primetime shit. I'm not gonna. By the way, the Clout, I named it the Friday night at Fetty's. That's what we're gonna call it now.
Friday night at Fetty's. That's
that's gonna be our primetime Friday nights.
I fucking love
Friday night at Fetty's. But it with that ECB match, I mean, ECB dominated, and we'll get to them in a bit. But Texas was up 6-4 with 30 seconds left in the second half of Overload, and they gave up 2 goals in 30 seconds. It was atrocious defense that I've ever seen, and it's hard to put a number on them. I want to see them do well. It sucks because they're just not performing, and they don't. Again, they got to find a way to attract free agency. I would say at least like maybe a Furyk be an owner take a step back and then probably build around Zealot, try to do something around there, something like that. But I don't know what the best course of action is for Texas. They got a roster.
either,
We'll
man.
see how that roster. We'll see how it piles up. You know.
Monarchs of Major 1 for us right now. I mean, 0-4, 2-12 map count. I mean, it's if it like you said, with besides that map 5, they took who'd you say Miami in? It's just been 3-0s across the board. They're just getting absolutely blasted 3-0s every map, and nothing is working for these boys. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be very hard to see. We'll look at the matchups again in a minute once we go through Div D and we can just kind of see who they go up against. But I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Detroit and OVO, and no, they already went up against OVO this week, so it's different. Could be East Coast.
Yeah.
No, they went
Yeah,
East Coast. I don't know who the fuck they play. We'll look in a bit.
No, yeah, Texas played East Coast and OVO. They got 3-0'd by East Coast and 3-0'd by OVO.
I think it's Detroit and Stanford this week. So
yeah.
I think it's a heavy matchup for them as well. But then obviously jumping over to Div D, we have the last remaining undefeated team of the major, and it's Nuck and the boys over in Miami. These boys are shooting. I think the only weakness in these guys is off defense right now. The only dent in the armor I would say from Miami is the overload. The boy, it seems like it's carrying over from Major 1. These boys just can't seem to get overload going. I mean, they are 0-2 in overload, and obviously they're not putting up the points. They average 2.5, tied with Texas for the amount of points per game, -3 round differential. That is also without their series against pairs, because I don't have that punched in on me and Fets' sheet yet. So unless they won against pairs, which I can find out also right now with our new stat sheet, if I can find it here. Shout out COD Stats real quick for providing us with such an elite stat sheet. But yeah, Fitz, what's your thoughts on Miami while I'm searching for this?
Dude, hit the ground running. Like I said, Nuck is my favorite for MVP. That's gonna be my front runner. To start of the season, I think they are in a good place. I think this is the best start Miami I've seen.
They smoked
one of the best starts
8-0 in the overload, so I take all that back. Their stats are definitely going to be inflated a little bit, so they'll be second best. They'll be second worst for points per game, but I mean a big 8-0 against Paris in the Den overload. We had Nuck going 29-14, Parks going 29-18, Mars E-Sub going 23-15, Sins going 12-17.
Yeah,
I mean,
but now Parks is not on Parks, and he just dealt Parks last night, so Parks is not on Miami anymore, unfortunately.
Oh, God damn.
Man, and then now we had
for Parks though.
The addition of Roomba. He actually just joined Paris about an hour ago. So Parks is now on Paris.
He went over to the team. He fucking absolutely.
Oh, like I don't know. I don't know what that. Maybe because of the.
I love when Rostermania happens in between our pods. We like. Dude, we start talking about shit and we're going, oh yeah, no, this team will look great, and then it's just like, nah, man, the team's no longer the same team anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the Rostermania has been insane. I don't know what Miami does to fill in the gap there. I know Mars was a 2. Was it 6-2 Sins?
Yeah, he should have, man. He had the big MVP in that series against Paris, dropping a 1.38 KD against Paris. I mean, 101 kills, 73 deaths, 11k damage, man. This guy.
And he won the Switch last night.
Yeah, shout out to the teams that won the Switch too.
I'm saying, like, he should be. He that's a breakout for a young pointer right there, And I think that's what Miami needs. But how do you fill the gap? How do you fill a gap for like a main AR like Parks? And I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know if Roomba is gonna come in there and settle things up. I don't know what
you have. Nuck, Roomba, Mars, and Zins.
But Zin's on the team.
Unless you put Vortex in there too. Unless you move Zins to.
Oh yeah, Vortex in there. Yeah. I forgot about them.
Rank? Is he a 5 or 6?
He's a 6 now, I think.
So 6.
Yeah.
No, it'd have to be a 1 because Roomba and Mars would be 2 3s. That'd be 12.
Oh yeah, Sins. Yeah, Sins. Yeah, Sins is a 1, so I think that makes sense. So I mean, I still think they're so comparable. They do miss a big boy in Parks. I think Parks going to Paris is good. A lot of ARs on that team. Again, like I said, Paris just has to, like I said, BVD's my boy. Even Tape is not on the team anymore, so I'm expecting for a leader, someone to step up, like someone to make a way for Paris to lead Paris to the promised land. I don't know who that is on the team. I would like to think at the time it was either Tape or BVD. I think now it has to be in BVD's hands here for Paris. That is just my opinion. I think BVD needs to start doing something. Whether it's leading the team somehow. If it's not BVD, it's got to be someone else.
Old man,
I know Burke is a non-playing GM, so he's not playing. So they got to find a way to find someone that could lead the team to slow ARs. They're gonna miss out on pressure. Yeah. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what is going to do.
Around, and then who else is there too? It'd be Kane, and then you have Parks and BVD that are anchor in the back, and then you have Kane and who's their next one?
That's what I'm saying. Oh, Colin.
Oh, Colin. Yeah, you have Kane and Colin flying around the map. You got to.
And I think Cycleo is on the team as well.
And
so
there too.
you do have
there's a lot of promising names on that roster.
Yeah, a lot of weapons there. A lot of weapons they utilize. Like I said, I which one out of those 4, 5, 6 people are going to be a leader? Because I think every team needs a leader in order to push them, right? And you see it in Toronto, you have like a duo leadership with like Clouter and Cope. You know, Zorb's kind of taking the reins with Potato, right? That duo ship, right, for certain teams work very well. Or you have like Nuck taking the lead role on Miami, KR taking a lead role, superstar lead role in Detroit, right? So same kind of deal here. I think you need to have someone to lead the role for Paris, and I think I hope I wish nothing but the best for Parks on Paris. It's just going to be tough. I think chat is right on it because you have 2 very slow ARs and not going to be a lot of movement. But unless you have kind of like a Colin Kane kind of duo sub pressure kind of movement, then it might work. But I don't know how well it's going to work because again,
I think it's fair to say that we can put Paris and Stanford in the same column with a question mark, but it's a promising question mark. You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely high hopes for this team with the acquisitions that have been made in the past 24 hours. It's like one of those things where you just want to ignore the 1-3 record right now and just see how week 3 goes, and then come back after week 3 and go, all right, was the moves good or was the moves not good? You know what I mean?
Right. They gotta win one at least. I would say they gotta win one.
I think
if they're 2-5,
you have the win.
Or if they're 2-4, I'm not gonna be. But the week after that, if they start losing, they gotta.
1-5. You can't come back.
Yeah, you can't be 1-5. Yeah, we've seen 2-5 comebacks, but it's going to be tough in this division right now. It's going to be hard because
I don't know who Paris
you could take the way up for Detroit.
We can have a look at that shortly, but yeah, I don't know who Paris matches up against this week, but I think they play
East Coast and Detroit.
Is it East Coast and Detroit? Oh, that's too fucking. That's 2 big matchups for them as well. So,
yeah, I mean, East Coast. I feel like.
Do we want to jump to Detroit too after this? Once you.
Oh yeah, I'll go in right now.
You want to go to Detroit right now because this team has really blown it out of the way for us. I think this major. I think last major we were like, all right, Detroit's towards the bottom. You know, they worked their way back up. We were like, oh shit, you know, Kiori's kind of cooking here, major 1, and then they made probably the best run out of all teams there. I think we had them finishing top 12. In the bracket, but I mean, so far major 2. I mean, these boys are just on fire. I mean,
they're on fire.
They're the only undefeated team in hardpoint right now. They're the only team left to haven't dropped the map in hardpoint. They're 4-0. They have the top KD in hardpoint right now with a 1.18. These boys are cooking at hardpoint. I feel like if there's anything, and then in the overload, they're 2-1 in overload as well with a 1.08 KD in overload with an average of 5.5 touchdowns per game. That is the highest touchdown per game with a plus minus of +9. These boys are hooping and respawn. I can't say the same for S&D. S&D, they're 1-3 right now with a 0.9 KD and a -5 round differential. They do have 1 round 11 win. But yeah, I think if Detroit has any dinks in the armor, like I think it's the same for Miami with overload. I think it's in the S&D. But I do think Kiori and the boys, I mean, those boys are scrimming every mode, and I think they're just getting better every day. And I think this Detroit team, you know, despite being 3-1, is definitely up there for top teams in the league right now.
Yeah, they're a top 3 team right now. These guys are unreal. I love the transformation they've had since last major. Like I said, superstar caliber out of the Great White Slayer, the Great White Shark out of Kaori himself. I mean, unbelievable. And like I said, Reflectory out of 4 is an unbelievable steal, and to have Float Junior, aka Skips. I mean, they are taking routes. Float. That OVO match. I mean, OVO should have just left after map 2. I mean, it was that bad. Detroit literally gave him big dick, like on the forehead. Ass. It was, yeah, it was not even. Yeah, I mean, Detroit looks so good on the respawn. They know where to go. They know their power positions. They know how to complement each other. And I think it goes. I think again the wild card.
1.9 for that series. That's crazy. Reflectory dropped to 1.03. Well, you have 7. Didn't have skips this match though, by the looks of it. Though.
Dude, watching Detroit, I'm telling you right now, Detroit's probably one of the funnest teams to watch. If you're casting, if there's a Detroit match, you should cast it. If I can't cast it, whoever's casting, that's in the chat or can cast, you should cast Detroit. They're fun to watch, man. They know shit. They know the map very well. I would like to see a Detroit Miami game with these rosters. That's going to be fun as hell. East Coast, I already went to 5 maps with them, and they beat him in 5 maps. But yeah, East Coast did.
What harsh words were said about us? Barry's still super team, bro. On paper.
I called you guys the Brooklyn Nets super team with the Kyrie and KD and James Harden. That's what you guys look like right now. That's what I said. Because it's super teams, but they're not translating it well. They shouldn't be 2-2. But either way, Detroit.
Foul. Come on, Capshot, I'll answer us in a second. But yeah, no, Bear, if you want to know what we're talking for New York, I think it's still super team on paper with the addition of Gelato, but you guys definitely had a rough week too for sure. So
yeah, you guys, I mean that West Coast,
paper, bro. You're still a super team on paper.
Yeah, no, but that's why I said that's why I made the analogy to the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, on paper, it looks fabulous. It looks like you guys could win championships for days with your eyes closed. And you
guys can't go out and sign Splashy and Gelato and go, yeah, no, we ain't a super team.
Well, no,
like, who are you trying to fool?
On paper, no, I don't care what it says. I don't care. I'll stand in business. You guys are a super team. Because of that 3, but it's like I said, it's that Brooklyn Nets rhythm that I'm feeling. Unfortunately, there's 2 games that you should have won. Those were the 2 games. You should have never lost to Phoenix, and it should like in that fashion. And then same with West Coast. So unfortunately, that was rough. That was a rough skid. No, I don't. I think they still compete in the pool for sure. But like, I need to see the Toronto New York matchup. I need to see what that looks like. Yep. Things like that. But I mean, like, I still think you guys compete very well. You guys are some of the best players in the league. So I'm expecting. It's because the expectations are so high in the ceiling. I'm expecting more. Same kind of deal. With teams like Paris or teams like it's just different. Now. Yeah, you guys, on paper, like those, you guys are the talk of the town because of the moves you guys make and the players on the team. That's, The cornerstone is Bear. Bear is the cornerstone because he's been on New York. He is, he builds around Bear a lot. So to have Splashy there and now Gelato there, is impressive, and I think you guys can still pull it off. It's just going to be tough, but fortunately. That's how right now. I mean, it's just how it looks. But once this week goes by, we'll have more of an understanding what New York looks like. But back to Detroit.
Before you do that,
go ahead.
Just to bounce back to Capshot, since you want to know what was talked about OVO, is I think the best thing we said about OVO is that they're just in the middle right now. We don't know. They're well, actually, I think Fett said he has OVO up there for his top teams. I don't have them up as high. I think they're in the middle right now, and they're not good. They're not like a top team. They're still good, but you guys aren't also in the gutter either.
I actually might change that. When we did the top 5, I'm thinking about it right now. I actually might switch that 5, but we'll see. We'll talk about it when we get there.
But anyways, jumping back to Detroit though, I really like this Detroit team. I think these guys are I don't know who they play this week. They play Texas this week, so I feel like that's a definite 4-1. Yeah, but Caption,
I'm a s-
everyone's putting belt to ass to Texas, so
yeah, yeah,
you're with everyone else.
yeah. It's they're not.
But
I gotta scream mercy at some point, man. Like it's like
I think Detroit goes 4-1 against Texas. If that's who they play the week. I don't know who their second matchup is. I'm gonna look shortly. But yeah, I really like this Detroit team, and right underneath them is East Coast, man, and I really like this East Coast team, man. Um, I've been saying it for
yeah,
pretty much this whole major. These guys are fucking on fire. Uh, the best thing I can put about this East Coast team, Fits, for you take it away. These guys are your secondary mode teams. I think the East Coast is leading in S&D and Overload right now overall on
yeah.
all teams. I
hmm
think they're struggling in the hard point. But I mean, if you're cleaning it up in the S&D and overloads, I mean, you can just Neslo teams and just say fuck the hard point. We're just gonna win the S&Ds and the overloads. And that's just
Yeah,
how they're gonna get by.
I was gonna say back to Detroit. I think Detroit could win a chip here.
Oh,
That's how good they
100%.
look. That's
Yeah.
how good they look. And then for East Coast, again they are another team that could. They're a top team right now. I already have them in the top five. You guys are gonna see them in the Fets A list. These guys are legit. They had I finally get to see the Rose Skizzy duo on that Friday night. It's about time. Did not see Rigo play. So that Rigo Skizzy duo has been working. Rose stepping in and putting in pain. I mean, these guys are insane. Like I said, I know it was Texas, but man, they were down 6-4 in the second half with 30 seconds left in overload, and they scored two, and they won the overload. I mean, to close it out, the S&D, like I said, I wouldn't chow East Coast on S&D rate at all. Like these guys are so these guys are so serious on the S&D, especially on raid. It is scary. These guys play Scar really well. They went toe to toe with Jersey already, but again, that was without Potato. So I think it was right, or was it with Potato? I'm not sure, but they went 5 matches with Zorbs.
Yeah, it was
Close
potatoes.
game,
Potatoes there too.
you know, with Potatoes. Yeah, so close game. I mean, these guys can play ball. Don't underestimate these guys. These guys are really good. Skizzy again is a favorite for MVP as well, alongside Nuck and some of the other guys and Zorbs. These guys are here to play. They made a statement coming out of the D League in Major One, and now they're here in full form, full Finder Frieza form, absolutely frying. This division is the toughest division right now,
Yep. And
based
jumping
on the
off of what
numbers.
Fed said too, jump back to the S&D. East Coast is 5-1 in the S&Ds right now with a 1.3 overall KD in S&D, and they also have a plus 15 round differential. These boys are fucking slamming in S&D. They know exactly where to play. They're 3-0 in raid. Um, they're undefeated on raid S&D right now, and then 2-1 on Den. I mean, these boys are just fucking hooping on S&D, and then jumping down to the overload. They're 3-1 in overload with a 1.05 KD, a plus 5 in goal differential, and they're averaging about three goals a game right now. I feel like that's a little low for their standards, but I mean they're still getting the job done in overload. And then jumping up to the hard point is the only one where they have a negative KD right now, rocking a .92, and they're just 500 in the hard point. So, like I referred to Feds at the start, I think it just comes down to the hard points. If these guys can rally and clean up their hard point a little bit, again, like Fed said with Detroit and Miami, these three teams in Div D are just fucking unreal. Top five in the league for sure, and the fact that three out of those five are in Div D just makes this division so much more harder.
I
Uh,
mean, yeah. Look how
yeah,
close the
but
MC is between the top three in this Division D. 11-5, 11-4, 12-5. I mean, it can go either way. These guys, this is super strong. I'm loving this Division D again. The best division right now. This is the best division. This is the closest. This is the toughest division because of how close it is. 3-1, 3-1, 4-0. Kind of Paris on the tail end. But I think right now, I think Detroit could possibly beat Miami. They are close. I like Miami to come out of the division, but Detroit is on the move, man. They're putting in the work, and then of course East Coast Bandits giving everybody hell. This is a very close, very very tough division.
yeah,
Very very
absolutely.
tough division.
And now we'll jump into our matches this week. Obviously, we're gonna have Miami versus East Coast, which is just a fucking juicy matchup right off the get go. We're gonna have OVO versus New Jersey, another juicy matchup. We're gonna have the new form pairs matchup against East Coast. Paris going up against East Coast and Stanford, that's definitely going to be a tough week for them with their new refined roster to at least get one win here. Actually, it's going to be crazy, Feds, because one of them probably will go 2-4. I mean, because Paris also plays Stanford. So we're going to see both the new refined rosters go head to head this week as well in Paris and Stanford. So that's a huge matchup there for both those teams to get a win under their belt and start working their way up the standings. But then obviously, if you look at Paris' second matchup in East Coast and Stanford's second match against Texas, it's obviously a harder schedule for Paris. But yeah, definitely must wins for Paris and Stanford this week to, make sure that they're not in that rough position of being too far down to, get relegated into the pool of death for D League. It's still early on, but I think this major we're doing it a little bit differently. I gotta get the intel from E on how that was going again. I kind of forgot, but yeah, and also on the right-hand side, not looking good for Texas. I mean, going up against Detroit super team, I don't think there's going to be much change there for Texas. And then going up against Stanford, unless they have an upset here, it's going to be wild.
I mean, all right, no, it's not looking good for them. They definitely come out here 0-6. So New York, Toronto, they got to see that. I got to see. Again, the Brooklyn Nets play against Toronto right now because that's
definitely a must watch.
That's definitely must watch. I want to also see. I want to see Bermuda Skyliners. Only because I want to see how Ruler plays against Act and Offsite. I'm very curious to see how he plays as a main AR against those two guys. I will also say. Again, you got to put Plattsburgh in Vegas.
I like to see a Plattsburgh matchup here just to see how that new roster with SETI and Tuna.
Yeah, and then Tuna having a revenge game against Las Vegas. Again, that's got to be good. And then also the SETI Tuna duo, that's got to be on paper. That looks good. Other than that,
there's not a whole lot much of exciting on this left-hand side. I would like to see,
the right side,
I'd like to see Absolute Rain have a few matches. And yeah, on the side of the right side, looking at it now, and I mean, all the love to the Rattlesnakes, not to diss, but I mean, every match here seems interesting outside of the Texas matches.
Yeah, the Detroit jersey should be fun to see again. I think Potato Zorbs with Reflectory and Sumo.
New Jersey, Detroit, New Jersey.
East Coast Bandits in Miami. That's got to be up there. That's got to be prime. That's got to be on primetime night. I got to see that matchup. That's going to be insane. I can see that. I can see that go 5 maps. 100%. That is going to be a big one. And honestly, the new and improved Stanford against Paris. I want to see BT and I think Paris. I think we need to start watching these Paris games. If I want to see Savashi and BT play together. So I think they could put Paris back on the map a little bit. So the East Coast game might be tough, but Paris and Stanford should be interesting to see Stanford kind of work their way through their new roster. So that should be fun. But yeah, Miami East Coast. That's got to be prime time. And I would probably also put Detroit, New Jersey, prime time. That's got to be a big one, either Wednesday or Friday night. Yeah, and then New York. I just want to see New York play. Even Absolute Rain. I don't think Absolute Rain wins that, but again, because Absolute Rain. I think both teams are still having the same struggles with such dominant players. And I think with New York, there's a lot of players that need the ball in their hands. So I think they got to start sharing the ball a little bit somehow. I don't think Detroit's a super team. I think Detroit's a well balanced team, but I think Reflectory out of 4 is definitely a steal. So I think that's all I would say about these matchups. But Miami East Coast, hit us up for the Wednesday night primetime because that shit is going to fly, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and I guess to reiterate me and Fets' Wednesday night primetime night. I mean, if any team owners want to have a match for on Wednesday nights, me and Fets are going live for all casts from 9:30 and 10:30, right? Or is it 9 and 10? Either or.
Whatever. Anything that could slot into a doubleheader. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would even do 8. I would even do 8 or 8:30 if they get an earlier game.
Feds would do like a triple. I'd jump in for the last 2 type deal.
Yeah, the Friday night was tough. I appreciate Detroit and OVO squeezing me in for the 11 o'clock. Because I only had one match and then I was gonna do a D League match, but I want to cast main league. So So I was able to get the ECB Texas and then OVO Detroit Friday night. That was fun. That was some good vibes. I had a good time. We were popping off. I think I even casted like the last map of the Absolute Rain game. And they got smoked. Absolute Rain got smoked. They lost that. That was a bad one. That guy ULF, whoever the fuck that guy is. Holy shit! That man went 50 and 20 on Fringe HP. No wonder he went up to a 7 or 6 or whatever it was. Yeah, I mean, Las Vegas definitely got their licks there, but like I said, I think Vegas that's a fake 3-1. I think they got to start figuring out unless they build around Elf. If they can build around Elf, then that would be a good interesting roster. But yeah, man, a couple good games. Please let us know if you want us to cast Olaf. Yeah, I don't know who the Olaf.
Or Ulf.
I was calling him Ulf this whole time.
Ulf.
Uh, yeah, ULF with the little apostrophe on the U. Yeah, he went crazy. So, also, if you're playing Fringe in the big 2026, man, yeah, that's crazy. I don't know.
That's also
that is crazy. In my opinion. I mean, do you boo boo? But like, if you're doing Fringe HP in 2026, man, boy, I don't know what to tell you, man. You know what I mean? Shit, that's crazy. But yo, do you guys? If you guys want to play that, man, you know, I see Toronto hitting meltdown. That's not too bad. But Fringe, yeah, you guys gotta
Man, Cope hates
figure out how to play Scar Hardpoint or something.
Cope hates meltdown, bro, with a passion.
Dude,
I picked it for that map 5 against Plattsburgh, and then I think Act picked it for map 2. And he was like,
dude,
bro,
Texas,
how are we playing this meltdown map right
dude,
now?
Toronto was up 4-0 on that map 5, and Seti, dude, I'm not gonna forget. Toronto was up 2-0, and Nuck told Seti, "Yo, pick it up, get back up, brother." And then they just went on a run. Seti just went nuclear, tied him up, could go to a map 5. That shit was insane.
Yep.
That was I that's what I was saying. Plattsburgh can be. That's why when we go into Fets A-list, like Plattsburgh can be up there, man. Like there are a lot of teams that are borderline right there, and I don't think Akeon's a 5. I think I don't think Akeon was. He did not play like a 5, but I mean, they came so close. Came down to a 1v1 map 5 round 11. I mean, you can't put a better price on that, dude.
No.
I had a good time, so that was fun.
No, I'm excited to cast some matches again this week. So yeah, anyone that's playing Wednesday, and if no one is playing Fits, I may have a Toronto match for you Wednesday. So I'm gonna wait.
Beautiful,
and see.
beautiful. I will be there.
But before I guess we add the conclusion to my favorite segment of the show, while Fets was talking then about the Toronto Plattsburgh matches, I just had to take a look. Power rankings I think are gonna come back into the pod next week. I'm just gonna wait for another week of matches to go through and get more of more stats per mode into me and Fetz's stat sheet from the website, which has been super helpful. But yeah, so the top 5 KDs right now in Hardpoint right now, we have Detroit leading the way with a 1.18. In second place, we have Toronto with a 1.11. Miami in third with a 1.09. New Jersey in fourth with a 1.08. And then Phoenix rounding out the 5th spot with a 1.06. Going into the S&D KDs, this is where it gets kind of fucking wild. Vegas, only because I got their 2 matches. I don't know, we don't have the stats for their West Coast or their AR matchup. But yeah, Las Vegas leading the S&D way with a 1.67 KD, 2-0 in S&Ds. That's outside of whatever they played this week against West Coast and AR. Coming up in second is Stanford with a 1.39, East Coast with a 1.3, West Coast Riders with a 1.26, and then Paris with a 1.24, rounding out the top 5 in S&D right now. A lot of those S&D teams have only played like 2 S&D matches, so they're kind of tainted, I guess, in a way. But that's the top 5 there. And then over an Overload for top 5, we have Phoenix leading the Overload KDs with a 1.11, Detroit with a 1.08 in second, East Coast with a 1.05 in third, New Jersey with a 1.04 in fourth, and then Plattsburgh rounding out. Actually, no, Plattsburgh should be in second because they have a 1.09. I missed them. So Plattsburgh's actually second. So it's Phoenix, Plattsburgh, Detroit, East Coast, and New Jersey rounding out the top 5 in Overload KDs. for this week. And then obviously next week we'll have the power rankings back up uh, on the pod, so we'll be able to see the top 8 per mode next week with all the stats going in. But yeah, no, that's your top 5 per mode this week. And yeah, and I guess we'll jump back to a big, huge shout out to the. I'll mention it again to our sponsorship, the COD stats in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Obviously, the CXP team has partnered with them to give us some elite stats. If you guys haven't checked out the website yet, there is a link in the cord. Click it, make your account, and you can go through and see how your own personal performance is doing along with other teams and do comparisons and head-to-head. It's definitely an elite website. Me and Fets definitely love it. We've used it.
Dude, it's so clean, man. It's so fun to watch. It's so fun to see it.
Yep, we've used it for doing our stat checks for this pod, and excited to see it be filled out over the major and be able to use it when playoff comes as well. And obviously, I think the D League is getting involved on this website as well. So any D League players in chat right now, I don't know if your stats are also being uploaded to this website. If the commish is in here and can confirm or deny that, that'd be great. If not, it's all good. But yeah, I guess now to conclude our show for this week, I'm gonna hand it over to the man himself to give you guys his Fets A-list of the week. All I'm gonna say, Fets, is that last week you forgot your why, and I need you to bring back, because that's like my favorite.
I got you. I'm
gonna let Fets take it away.
Sorry, I was ripping a bullpeck. All right, guys. Well, welcome on in. Thank you, Clouter. I appreciate you. Now, guys, before I give you guys the list, I just want to say thank you all for always coming in, man. Clout and I really do appreciate it. It's been a fucking amazing ride, and the only way to go is up. But before I give you this list, let me put this in mind. It doesn't take into effect the roster changes, the point changes, or anything like that. This is just based off the standings, the numbers I got that Clouter and I have, and what I've seen so far in the matches based on the visual effect. But I'm going to give it to you right now. Now, number 5, I had this team in here, but now as we did the pod, I'm kind of shaking on to the 5. But I'm going to start off with an OVO. Why? Because you want to know why? Listen, they've been struggling. They're 2-2. But like I said, I'm relying on Juzin to have this spark of the complete takeover of the map. I need him to start extending plays, right? But I realized something. They got mollywopped by Detroit. They got absolutely steamrolled by the rain. And I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to have to redact OVO from this top 5 list. And I'm going to have to put in New Jersey. I am going to put New Jersey at number 5. But I still like OVO at 6-5-ish. In around there, and I'm gonna tell you why. New Jersey and Potato and Zorbzio is legit. You gotta watch out for them. This brings me back to the BO6 nostalgia that I saw with Los and Potato. I love Potato playing. That's my homeboy. I want to see him excel, and to see him come back and play, I like these guys together. This is gonna be good. So OVO New Jersey, we're gonna put him at number 5. But this is where the list gets actually legit. Ready? So number 4, Toronto. Why? Literally just watched them on a doubleheader. Late night doubleheader. My boys got to get up early in the morning. These guys beat the brakes off of Phoenix. Shut down Act. Shut down Offsite. Phoenix had no complement to their game. And then they went to go play Plattsburgh. Now, Plattsburgh was a little tricky, right? They were up 2-0. Toronto was leading, getting reverse swept. But they closed it down. And I'm going to say something right now, and I said it earlier in the pod. Cope is a lot of people's kryptonite. I'm telling you, these guys play really well together. With the addition of Dizzle, with the addition of Danky Cheese, who is my homeboy as well. I think he has a solid 2-pointer. I think he's going to flourish really well in Toronto. I think Toronto, again, leading their division right now over New York. That is huge from what Clouter and I, and I'm sure a lot of people out of over the 1,000 plus people had and thought about when Splashy went to New York that they were gonna be at top of this division, at least but I'm gonna put Toronto there because it may change when we go next week. But Toronto is leading that division right now, 3-1, looking saucy, looking very saucy, and I think they're gonna come out of this division. I really like them. They look good as long as they can stay consistent with Clouter and Cope being that co-leadership role and the position that they have there, and controlling their team as they play it, and then Cope being efficient. I think he's fine because what I saw on that Scar, boy, Toronto could play Scar hardpoint. So don't let these guys down. Toronto still with their consistent pedigree that they have since the Toronto Frost rebuild. Toronto has it at number 4. Now this is where it gets serious. At number 3, Detroit Reign. Why? Why is it Detroit? This team could actually win the chip here. Led by the man himself, the Great White Slayer, Kaori, aka Sumo. I mean, the revamp of the roster could not have gone better for any other team. I think besides maybe East Coast Bandits and a few other teams out there, maybe one or two, that I was like, oh, that's an A+ roster mania. This team was an A+ roster mania move. Number 3, I don't think it's a super team. I really don't think it's a super team. I think Float has some good games, but I think Float's very inconsistent. So I like Detroit because Sumo could lead that with Reflectory. The only thing I would say is Reflectory is definitely a steal at a 4-pointer for being a 5 at BO6, playing very well, complimenting Kaori. Skip's doing his thing out there. So I gotta say, these guys are winning respawns. They cleaned up their S&D against OVO, working out a couple kinks there for S&D. But these guys are respawn demons. These guys are playing really well, especially on Overload. They could chow you on any map. It's going to be fun to watch. They're putting in the work from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. on the weekends, scrimming 15 maps. 12 maps, you called it. These guys are right back in it. I'm very proud of this team. I'm super excited. This is a must-watch team to go further into the regular season. And at number 2, we're going to put East Coast Bandits there. Why East Coast Bandits? Now, so this might shock you, but Skizzy is a front runner for the MVP role alongside some of my other MVP favorites like Nuck. Right, I really think, and again, mind you, the only reason I would put Detroit too, but the only reason is because East Coast already took Detroit to a map 5 and 1 by the thin skin of their teeth. Skizzy is their main leader. I think they could do no wrong with a Rigo COD and Skizzy duo. That has been looking absolutely elite. But then seeing Rose, the debut of Rose that I've been looking for because of the talk of them, Skizzy leaving Texas to come to East Coast Bandits. Now you finally see them in fruition, and they looked really good against Texas. Again, it's a Texas team, but they still looked interesting. They look really good on Colossus. The Raid S&D, they are a top team, top 2, if borderline top 1 S&D team right now with the numbers. I wouldn't play East Coast Bandits on Raid S&D. These guys play really well. Evo, again, the wild card, in my opinion, has been excelling at his role, playing absolutely well. And I'm going to tell you something, because in that Texas game on that Friday night, he in that map 1, he started off 1-7 and brought it back and went near double positive. The guy has played really well. I mean, I got to give it up to Evo. Shout out Evo. The man's fun to watch too when he plays his life. These guys look really good with the hands of Skizzy. Prometheus did a good job with building this team. The revamp looks great, but with the rank changes, it's going to look interesting. So, but for right now, East Coast is at number 2, and I mean, for number 1, I don't think anybody, I think this is kind of like a telltale because of their record right now and how well, mind you, I think, in my opinion, well, let me hit you with the whys of Miami Vice Demons, but let me tell you why. But because I feel like Nuck doesn't make the most changes, like per major, like and stuff like that, when roster mania and free agency opens, right? I don't feel like they make the most moves. I feel like he's very surgical with some of the moves that he makes. He doesn't do a lot of them, but he does them, and when he does them, it's tweaking them, and to a point where they're 4-0. Nuck is my front runner, my main front runner for MVP this season. I think he's going to have a bigger breakout season this major too. I think Miami right now is in perfect prime position to take away the chip. I know it's early, we're in the regular season, it's only week 2, week 3, right? But for the trajectory that they're going right now, it's so amicable. These guys look really good. I admire this team. You know, they were just in grand finals against Jersey back in Major One. I think these guys are hungry. I feel like I feel like Nuck is putting the foot on the gas pedal here, and I think with the addition of Mars, who just won the Switch last night, when I watched a little bit, it's pretty crazy. To take down some of those really strong, really dangerous players. I really like Miami. I think Sins has improved tremendously since BO6. Since I've last watched him played against him, these guys have played really well. Miami is in a good spot, but look at your top 3 right now. This top 3 is literally your Division D, right? Like it's literally the same division because of how good they've been playing. Right. I think you could possibly throw Bermuda in maybe a 5, but I don't know because they lost a couple of close games. I think as we go through further into the regular season, we're going to see a lot of players climb. I was hoping to see Paris up there with what I had on paper, but again, no one stepped up to my liking. And I think right now, I think this is a solid top 5. Like I said, OVO, Jersey is your split at 5. I think Jersey really takes the cake at 5. OVO kind of regresses to a 6, even though they got a big win, but I'm counting on Juzin to kind of lead the way. I don't know if his shoulders can handle that much pressure, and he's kind of went split since they are 2-2. Like I said, New York was my number 1 last week, and now they're not even on the board. The 2-game skid is very concerning to me, and I think they look like the Brooklyn Nets right now that we once foresaw them as a championship team. But a lot of issues going on with them, a lot of disorganization, looking to see if they can make some changes. But right now, Toronto leading the division, they have to be at 4. And Plattsburgh, again, you could even throw Plattsburgh at 5 if you really wanted to, based on what I watched on that map 5. And I think Plattsburgh is still coming up with the addition of Tuna. So now we have really good weapons. I think 3Z is making some good moves here for Plattsburgh. So they could even split down the middle 5 with OVO and Jersey. But I think right now this top 4 is legit, in my opinion. But again, this is going to definitely change next Monday. I feel like after this week, it's going to be very interesting. But definitely your bottom team has got to be Texas. I think right now that's like the worst team right now that we have. And then there you go. That is your top 5 A-list, baby.
I love the Y. The Y gets me every time.
The Y. Yeah. I can't believe I forgot that last week.
You almost forgot it with Miami, and you went, why?
Yeah. Let me hit you with the
He's good.
Had to bring it back.
Yep. But no, man. I think that's the. I couldn't have said it any better. What Fed said, man. A lot of I feel like this major is a lot more closer than the previous one. It seems like everyone has found their footing, and the good players are trying to link up with each other, and people are starting to get more comfortable playing with certain players, and it's making for a very tight race into Major 2 after the first 2 weeks have gone through. So yeah, heading into week 3. We have some big matches coming up. Me and Fets are available for any matches to cast on Wednesday. Obviously, have Friday nights at Fetty's. Friday nights, which is just casted by yours truly, Fetty. And yeah, man, I think that's all I have mostly for this week, man. I'm excited to get into week 2. Big matches for us this week. Do I have to put the exclamation mark first or after? I keep forgetting now.
Oh wait, hold on a second. Did you see the announcements?
No, I did.
They just made a vote saying who's the
Yeah, did you vote?
Who's the best player in the league?
Who'd you vote for? Zorb's got 9 votes right now.
Right now I voted for Nuck because he is 4-0. but I wouldn't put it past Skizzy. It's Skizzy. I gotta vote for both. I think. I feel like.
I just vote for everyone.
I'm just gonna vote for both because it makes sense. I think. I think that you have to put. I think Skizzy is just putting a little bit up more with numbers, but I think Nuck is still the best because of he's leading his team to a 4-0 victory. But it's really close. I don't know. What do you think? Real quick before we end out here.
I think it's between Skizzy and Zorbs. I think both those guys are just super. They're definitely
Zorbs?
huge players on the maps. Johnny, I mean Johnny is Johnny. Everyone knows, whether it's under. And yeah, you know what, Kaori, you are right. I think Kaori is slept on a little bit there. I feel like Kaori could be up there as well.
I want to put Carey is definitely there too. That's what I'm saying. It's hard because it's tough, man. Like East Coast won 3-2. Like I gotta take into consideration my head-to-head matches too. You know what I'm saying? So, but KR has got to be up there as well. I mean, so it's I like this. This is what we like, and Cope is obviously up there as well. I think Kaori has to be an 85 along with Cope though. That's what I would say.
Yep. No,
Zorbs too. I think they're relatable, but.
At the end of that, though, I think that concludes us for this week. I don't have anything else to say, Fets. I don't know if you do, but I'm good, man.
No, that's it, man.
Pulling up, man. Kiori, I seen you in the chat a nice bit. Rigo, I seen you there. Obviously, the Go E. I'm gonna play him some jazzy music on the way out the door. Bear was in there. Capshot. BT. Thanks everyone for pulling up, man. We enjoy seeing you guys in the chat every week, man. We love doing this, man. It's a laugh, and we'll be back next week with a brand new episode, man. We'll recap all the big matches this week, and then we're into week 4. Almost time for the pool swap, I guess, or what is it? The fucking ball, man. I keep forgetting the word for it. Anyways, when the pool switch, and we play teams on the other side of the pool.
So, oh yeah, once that pool switch is about to get crazy. I feel like we'll get bigger understanding.
Yeah.
I can't wait, man. I like what these teams are gonna look like. I think we have a match tonight.
If there's any matches tonight, help Feds. I'm sure he's down to cast. But yeah.
Yeah, DM me. Just let me know.
That's it from us. We'll see you guys back here next week, 5:30 p.m.
Peace out, guys.
Peace,
have a good Monday. Have a good Monday night. Peace out.
Show